Good evening, everybody. Peace be upon you. How are you all? Are you okay nowadays? Is the screen shared with you? If it's shared, please give me a sign on the chat bar. Hey guys, do you hear me? Okay, today's lecture is the first lecture in Shakespeare's drama and poetry. Before studying any type of literature, or before studying poetry or drama of Shakespeare, first we should know something about English literature and literature in general. So after that we will talk about drama, types of drama, and the periods and the eras of drama. Do you hear me, guys? Do you hear me?
نعم أستاذ الصوت واضح.
Okay, let's go on. First, guys, concerning literature has three types, okay, three forms. The first form, which is the oldest one, we call it poetry or verse, which is the oldest type of literature, because literature started as verse, but it was oral at that time. It was not written, so everything was transferred, or the culture was transferred orally. Okay, so the stories, the histories was saved and transformed in a form of poetry. Why poetry? Who can tell me why the first type of literature was in a form of poetry, and why people at that time saved their cultures, their education in a form of poetry? Who can tell me? Who can tell me, guys? Because poetry is a rhymed kind of speech, so it is easy to keep by heart. You can keep by heart or memorize poetry easily. In this case, people at that time start keeping their culture in poetry. Okay, so we have many types. Even in Arabic, you know al-mu'allaqat, and we know the story of Antarat al-Absi, and those stories they kept in a form of poetry. The story of those guys was written in a form of poetry in order to make it easy to keep it by mind, okay, to save it. And after that we have some kind of teaching through poetry. Even in Arabic, for example, we have Alfiyat ibn Malik, which is concerned with dealing with grammar. So it's about grammar, but in a form of poetry. So the oldest type of literature was poetry. After a time, this kind of poetry and those stories was performed on a stage. What do I performed on a stage? It was acted on the stage. Okay, we have actors. they performed those stories on stage, okay, as a kind of amusement, okay, as a kind of amusement, because at that time we have two types of telling the story. Number one, the storytellers, al-hakawatiyya. Number two, performing it on stage, okay, as a kind of a drama or play. So the poetry or the culture which was written in the form of poetry was acted on the stage. Even the stories from the Bible or religious stories was performed on stage. So the poetry made in a form of drama. In the new generations or in the recent centuries, writing poetry was difficult. So not all of people were able to write poetry, because poetry has a meter بحر الشعري, okay, poetic meter, and it has kind of balance. We have metrical foot or feet, التفعيلات الشعرية, and many rules and standards you should follow while saying or making or writing poetry. So the necessity of invention new type of literature was there. So at the time they wrote prose. What do we mean by prose? Who can tell me? A prose, guys, it means a نثر. Okay, so poetry, الشعر, this is the first form of literature. The second one is a drama. The third one is a prose. Okay, those three forms or the three forms of literature. Now, concerning genres, what do you mean by genres? Who can tell me?
Like the kinds?
The kind according to what?
A kind of poetry or drama?
This is the type of literature, all type of literature, the type according to the content. Okay, according to the content. حسب المحتوى. So we have form or kind of literature according to the form. We have poetry, drama, prose. But according to the content, حسب المحتوى, we have comedy. What's the meaning of comedy?
Comedy.
You haven't translated it. How can we translate comedy to comedia or comedy?
ضاحك. Yes.
You are about to say it. Give me another synonyms.
مضحك.
الملهى.
الملل. Yes.
Tragedy.
مأساوي.
مأساة. Excellent. A tragicomedy. We have now combination between comedy and tragedy. When we have a story which ends happily, we call it comedy. When we have a story which ends sadly, okay, we call it tragedy. When we have combination between the two, we call it a tragicomedy. Tragicomedy.
المضحك والمبكي أو الواقع.
This is مأساة وملهى بنفس الوقت. في عنا القصة بيكون فيها مأساة وملهى. تمام، يعني مسرحية ضاحكة وبنفس الوقت مسرحية حزينة أو عمل. ما نقول مسرحية لأنه هذا عم نحكي genres for all forms of literature. Okay, so we have comedy, tragedy, tragicomedy. We have epic. What do you mean by epic? Epic. when it tells about a story of a battle or a struggle for a culture or for a people, we call it epic. What do you mean epic?
معركة.
ملحمة.
ملحمة. Yes.
Okay. Erotic. Erotic, it's a story which talks about unmoral stories or not respected stories. Okay. الأدب الفاسق. Okay. Which talk about irrespectable love relationship and something like that. Even in Arabic we have, for example, أشعار Abu Nawas, and we have some erotic poetry which talk about unrespectable and unmoral type of relationship. We have nonsense. What do you mean nonsense?
nonsense بدون إحساس.
Nonsense, you can say that. It means it doesn't have any meaning. Okay?
Yes.
Nonsense.
Okay.
Lyrics. Lyrics, it's a type of literature which is written to be song.
حقوقي أو قانوني أو هيك شيء يعني؟
أهزوجات غنائي الأدب الغنائي.
غناية.
Okay.
Right.
Have you seen the story of the Miserables, which is a French story? The Miserables, البؤساء.
Yes.
It's written in a type of lyrical poetry or lyrical story. Okay. We have mythopia. What do you mean mythopia? Mythopia. Who can tell me?
أسطورة.
You are about to say it. The exact meaning. It talks about myth, الأساطير. Okay.
أساطير. Yes.
Okay. Romance.
رومانسي.
You haven't translated it. Guys, be aware. Do not translate the English word to an English word. So you should find the meaning or the alternative in Arabic. Romance.
عاشق مثلا، عاشق قصص عشق أو شيء.
It means the sympathetic types of literature. Sympathetic, it deals with the feelings. Sympathy.
العاطفة.
Yes, العاطفي.
Yeah.
الشعر العاطفي، الأدب العاطفي، المسرحية العاطفية، القصة العاطفية. Okay. Satire. Satire, it's type of literature which is written or which is intended to criticize people, to talk about their follies, their mistakes, in order to correct them. We call it satire. What do you mean by satire? The verb is satirize. It means to criticize. Al-hijā, al-naqd. This type of literature, it is to attack the people. Who people? Which people? The people who makes mistakes, who makes something unmoral. Why? In order to make or to reform the society. لإصلاح المجتمع، بغرض إصلاح المجتمع. إذن يهجو لكي يصلح المجتمع. Okay? So
Okay.
all of these we call them genres. What is the meaning of genres? It means the kinds of literary works according to the content. Okay? The type according to what? To the content. Now,
محتوى.
okay. So, now if I want, now I know the forms of literature. I know the genres. It means the type according to the content. Now I want to write. I need what's called techniques. What's the meaning of techniques? What do you mean by techniques? ما حدا يترجم لي تكنيكات أو تقنيات. No. It's acceptable to say تقنيات, but it's not تقنيات. It's أساليب. Okay? Ways. I don't know whether تقنيات is an original Arabic word. You can check it up in an Arabic dictionary and discover or find out whether it's an Arabic word or not. Okay, so we have two techniques of writing literature, which is either poetry or prose. Suppose, for example, you want to write literature. You do not have unless those two types or two ways or two techniques. You have only those two techniques to write literature. Either you can write in poetry or you can write in a form of prose. Do we have any other technique? Who can tell me? يعني اللي بده يكتب أدب راح يكتب إما بأسلوب النثر بالأسلوب النثري أو الأسلوب الشعري. ما في عنا أدب غير بهالشكلين. So
yes sir, I write a prose and now I write a novel in Arabic language.
Sorry, again?
I am sometimes write a prose and now I'm write a novella.
So novella
in Arabic language. In Arabic language, no in English.
You are writing a novel and novella?
Novel, رواية. Novel, I think.
Don't be confused. A prose has many types. As we said, poetry, a form. So we have 3 forms of literature. How many forms? 3. We have poetry, prose, drama. A prose is divided into many types. Okay? The prose, another. You have number 1, novel, which is the longest form of prose, or the longest form of literature, which is written in a form of prose. We call it novel. We have a shorter one, which is called novella. The novella is shorter than novel. We have shorter one, which is short story. So the short story is shorter than novella. And nowadays we have a new type, which is called flash fiction, which is shorter than short story itself. So in prose we have 4 kinds according to the length. According to the length. What do you mean by length? What's the meaning of length? Length, long. The adjective is length. Sorry, the noun.
أطول. معنى أطول.
So the type according to the length. أنواع النثر حسب الطول. أول شيء novel. الأقصر novella. الأقصر short story. وفي عنا نوع جديد اللي هو flash fiction حتى أقصر من الشورت ستوري. أنت فتي وقت بتذكري لي النوفل والنوفيلا أنت فرعتي لي هلا البروز. تمام؟
Okay. تمام.
Okay. So keep in mind we have 3 forms of literature. عنا 3 أنواع للأدب. Number 1 poetry. Number 2 drama. Number 3 prose. While the genres according to the content بينما الأنواع حسب المحتوى we have tragedy, comedy, tragicomedy, epic, erotic, nonsense, lyrics, mythopia or myths, romance or romantic satire, whatever. But according now techniques, how many techniques are there for literature? If you want to write a literature, how many techniques do you need?
Two.
Which
think
are
poetry and prose.
excellent, poetry and prose. Now, since we are going to deal with Shakespeare's drama and poetry, we'll concentrate on drama and poetry. We will start with drama.
Sure.
What is drama? Drama is a type of literature telling a story. It means which tells a story. This story, which is intended to be performed, acted on to an audience. Audience, it means group of people who will see this piece of work on the stage. So where does it, or where is it performed? It is performed on a stage, على مسرح, خشبة مسرح. Okay. Now, after the definition of drama, بعد تعريف الدراما, we should know something about the elements of drama. The elements of drama. Why it's necessary to study the elements of drama? Who can tell me? Because those people who wants to deal with something, you should know the components, the elements. Okay? Suppose, for example, you want to buy a car. You need a technician. The technician knows the components and he knows how to check them up to see if those components are right or not. So you need to know the components of anything you are dealing with. Have you get the idea, guys? So it's necessary to study the elements of drama. The first element, we call it a plot. What's the meaning of a plot? Or sometimes we call it the dramatic line. Okay? Dramatic line. الطلاب اللي عم بيستخدم السماعة بتعطي صوت اللي فيتح مايك، فانتبهوا السماعة تبعكم إذا فيها مشكلة حاولوا ما تحركوها. Okay. A plot. الحبكة. It is the events in a play. So when we say the plot of a play or the dramatic line, it means the events of the play. What do you mean by play?
المسرح.
Play, it means المسرحية. Okay?
Okay.
The second element of a play is setting. What's the meaning of setting? The setting, it means the time and the place of the literary work. Okay? The time and the place. We call them the setting. Okay? After that we have characters. The character is or are the people who create a play. So while making a play or a drama, you need characters. Okay?
شخصيات بمعنى شخصيات.
Okay. First, we need events, أحداث. We make them in a plot. Those events, we put them in a time and place. Guys, could you please mute yourself? Okay. The setting, after we have events, these events we should make or put them in a time and place. We got to setting. After that we have characters. Characters are the people. We need characters. Then those characters needs a dialogue. What do you mean by dialogue? It means speech. Okay, the speech between people or the actors of a play, we call it dialogue, الحوار. If I ask you in the exam, what do you mean by dialogue? It is the conversation in a play. After that, we have or we need something which is called the idea. The idea is called the theme. The theme.
معنى الموضوع على
طيب السماعة اللي بتستخدميها الظاهر فيها مشكلة، يا اما وطية شوي او حاولي يعني ما تحركي لانه المشكلة في الظاهر في مشكلة عندك. اوكي. The theme, it means the central thought of a play, the central idea. Okay? The idea of the story, the idea of the play, we call it theme. Okay? The idea or the ideas which a play deals with. Okay? Deals with. Okay. Now guys, why the theme is necessary? Because every piece of work has an idea. Maybe we have a moral lesson, درس أخلاقي. Maybe we have instructions, تعليمات. Maybe we have an aim for the writer. So any piece of work has its own aim, unless we have the type which is called nonsense. Nonsense, sometimes it doesn't have a meaning. Okay. Finally, we have scenery. Scenery, it is the various elements that are used to create a particular visual setting for a play. Okay. The scenery. Scenery, it means المشهد. Okay. Now, as we said, we have types of literature, of drama. As we said, we have tragedy, comedy, tragicomedy, romantic drama, satiric comedy, farce, and absurd. Those are the most famous types of drama. Okay? Tragedy, as we said, it is the story which ends sadly. In the Greek times, the tragedy should end by the death of the hero. But in the modern sense, it's not necessary to make the hero die in order to make a tragedy. So it's enough to end sadly to make it a tragedy. So in the Greek sense, what do I sense? بالمعنى الإغريقي. A play that ends with the death of at least one of the main characters. But in the modern usage, it refers to a play that doesn't have a happy ending. Okay? So you know the difference between the old sense or the old meaning of tragedy and the new meaning of the tragedy? This is
Yes.
the comedy. Comedy in the Greek sense, it's a play that doesn't end in death. It's contradictory to the tragedy. In the modern usage, it refers to a play that ends happily or that is humorous. ظريفة. Tragic comedy. Tragic comedy is a play in which serious and comic elements are mixed. So we have a mixture, مزيج, between comic and the tragic or serious elements. We have a romantic drama. Romantic drama is a play that presents a love story. So it deals with the feeling. Okay? Satiric. Satiric, as we say satire, it means al-hija. Satiric comedy. It's a play with a sense of humor, بحس الفكاهة, which shows the follies of the societies, حماقات المجتمع. Why? To reform them, لكي تصلحهم بهدف إصلاحهم. We have the sixth type. We have the farce. The farce is a play with a humor, mixed plot and observations. So it's mixture, okay? And we have the absurd, السخيف, okay? المسرحية الهزلية السخيفة يعني. It is a meaningless of existence play. You know the play of Waiting for Godot. Who has or who have heard about Waiting for Godot? It's an absurd, okay? And we have melodrama. Melodrama, it's kind of lyrical, okay? Melodrama, a mixture between acting and music. So it's a kind of drama having a musical combination of musical and acting to intensify, to ensure, to assure the effect of certain sense, to show certain sense. We call it melodrama. Okay? Now if we go to the origins and brief history of drama. First, in English, we have the Greek drama, which is, or we are talking about drama in general, and even the source of English drama was a classical. When we say classical, it means Greek and Roman. So the Greek drama nearly, because the dates are not accurate, okay, nearly about from 500 to 400 before Christianity. BC, it means before Christianity. We have Roman drama, which is from 240 before Christianity till 1000 or 1200 after date, ما بعد التاريخ. لاحظوا التاريخ برجع تنازلي ما قبل الميلاد، ولكن بعد الميلاد بندار بعد تصاعدي. Okay? We have the medieval, the drama in the medieval في فترة العصور الوسطى. It means the Middle Ages, العصور الوسطى, from 1200 till 1500. Okay? After date. AD, it means after date, ما بعد التاريخ، يعني ما بعد ميلاد المسيح. Elizabethan or Jacobean. Okay? From 1400 till 1642. We have the Restoration and the 18th century drama. It's from 1660 till 1800. We have the Romantic era. Era, it means period. What do you mean by era? It means period. It is from 1800 to 1880. We have the Modern era, which is from 1850 till present. Okay? But we should differentiate between the Modern era, which is divided into modern and contemporary. الحديثة بتشمل الحديث والمعاصر حتى. المعاصر هو contemporary. So drama is generally thought to have started in Greece باليونان between 600 till 200 before Christianity, although some critics trace it to Egyptian religious rites of coronation. So one of the theories says it goes back not to Greece but to Egyptian rites, طقوس دينية, rites. Okay, rites. Now, concerning the Greek drama, guys, I think we have less than 1 minute. If the session we will start again. We will continue. Now, guys, we will talk about briefly. We will talk briefly about the generations of drama. First, in the Greek era, the Greek drama. In Greece, a dramatic performance. What do you mean performance? الأداء. Okay, performance, it means الأداء. The dramatic performance were associated with religious festivals. Okay, so there were festivals which are religious, accompanied by drama. The Greeks produced different types of drama, mainly tragedy and comedy. The famous Greek tragedian include Achilles, Sophocles, Euripides. Those are tragedians. The best writer of a comedy was Aristophanes. Was a comedian. Concerning the Roman, by the way, we do not forget Aristotle, who put the rules of tragedy, okay, or the rules of drama. The Roman drama or the Romans inherited the drama or the drama traditions from the Greeks. The expansion, it means تمدد of the Roman Empire helped spread the drama to many places in Europe and Mediterranean world. Seneca is the most important Roman tragedian. We have Seneca is a Roman. By the way, the Greek and Roman, we call them the classical literature or the classical drama. When we say classical literature, it means one of the meaning, it refers to the Greek and Roman, because classic, it has many meanings. Okay, medieval. The Middle Ages started with the fall of the Roman Empire. The most classical learning was lost in the medieval times. The Middle Ages were dominated by religious and the study of the theological matters. So they were concentrated only on religion. Okay, it was limited to religion. The Christian doctrine and even the Christian principles and instructions and Christian values were the measure of everything. During the Middle Ages, the drama was looking down upon as evil. So they were looking to drama as evil, something evil, and it means a means of corruption. Means بمعنى وسيلة of corruption للفساد. However, faced with the needs to spread the word of God to illiterate messages, the church came to devise some form of a dramatic performance to help in teaching Christian beliefs. So it was forbidden first, كانت محرمة, but the church used the act, or they think about using plays in order to teach or instruct the illiterate people, الناس الأميين, okay, through drama. So it was acceptable after that. Okay, so the church okay, however, faced with the need to spread the word of God to illiterate masses, it means people, الحشود, the church came to devise some form of dramatic performance. Why? To help in teaching Christian beliefs and biblical stories. So there were drama which talks about the miracles and the stories of the Bible, in which the characters personify moral qualities such as charity or vice. or abstractions as death or youth, and in which moral lessons are taught. So they use drama in the medieval to make or to teach moral lessons, to teach the Christian beliefs. We have three main types of medieval drama. So in the medieval drama we have mystery plays, which talk about Bible stories. We call it mystery plays. And we have miracle plays, which talks about the lives of saints and the miracles of that they perform or they performed. And we have morality plays, in which the characters personify moral qualities, as we said, such as charity and or vice, or abstractions like death or youth, as we said, and in which the moral lessons are taught. After that we have the Renaissance. The Renaissance is the period that followed the Middle Ages. It started in Italy in the 14th century. So when did it start? In the 14th century, and spread to the other parts of Europe. The word Renaissance is a French word which means rebirth. إعادة إحياء، إعادة البحث، إعادة إحياء مع الثقافة الكلاسيكية. The Renaissance period witnessed a new interest in learning and discovery of the natural world. The works of the Greek and Roman writers were rediscovered, restudied. The inventions of the printing press helped making the production of the books easier and cheaper, hence available to more people. We have humanism. We have in the Renaissance tendency to humanism. We have the theme of humanism in the Renaissance. Humanist movement stressed the role of man and reason. Man and reason, al-insan wal-aql. So when we say humanism in the Renaissance, it focuses on the role of man and reason, على دور الإنسان والعقل, in understanding the world, and rejected the predominance of the religion thinking. There were a revolution against the church in the Renaissance time. Revolution against the teaching of the church or religion in general at that time. Renaissance drama. Renaissance drama, during the Renaissance, the works of Greek and Roman dramatists were rediscovered and imitated. Imitated, it means تم تقليدها. Plays were no longer restricted to religious themes. They were no more religious. This happened first in Italy and spread and then to other parts of Europe. In England, the drama flourished, ازدهرت, developed, during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I in 1558 till 1603, who has a patron, the mother, the take care of literature and the arts. So the Queen Elizabeth was the person who take care of literature at the time and the arts. Theatre were built in London and people attended the plays in large numbers, because at that time theatre was like, for example, television or internet nowadays. The most important dramatists were William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. We stopped to Shakespeare because we are concerned with studying Shakespeare and Shakespeare's drama and poetry, so we stopped studying drama till the Renaissance, till we reach Shakespeare. I think we have to stop to give you a break for at least 10 minutes for the coming lecture. I think we have only one paragraph we will talk about later. Now your homework is to read the lecture paper which I will send to you. Please pay attention and read carefully. Try to keep by heart the most important ideas, and try to make a glossary of the new words for you. See you later and good luck. Goodbye. If you have any, do you have any question before we start? We end our lecture.
No, thank you.
You are welcome. So see you later inshallah. Goodbye.